There's this guy who calls himself Grim Owl, and due to a very uncomfortable Twitter encounter he had with me that surely violated him, instead of just leaving it at a disagreement when he instigated the situation, he decided to make a nearly half-hour long exposed video of me. This is me giving my side of the story and some actual context, despite how much the snowflake's victim complex has gotten the best of him. He starts by titling the video with an all too familiar narrative. I wonder how Distant Kingdom is doing. Oh, excuse me, Galarian Publicified. They'll write love letters all over the internet about how much they hate our guts, but their two-faced and self-unaware asses will skate right past their obsessions for us. Never forget who was sucking who off when content you approved of was being made. When you all are old enough to make content that people care to watch, and you're old enough to actually make content, maybe I'll stop laughing out loud just a little bit. Alright, back to this. Everyone knows that every chance Publicify gets, he soaks himself, worrying about Wolf Glick while having disturbing and sensual thoughts about Wolf Glick violating him no matter what Wolf Glick does. So he shit posts the same decade-old garbage into the void, and this Polytoad NPC of his comes along and dares to question his nonsense. In classic Publicify style, maturity, and creativity, he insults him, and that of course is his only way of refuting anything that he knows he can't refute. Instead of Polytoad learning a valuable lesson, that is of course that Publicify's word is law, and if you're not with him you're against him, he appeals to him. This guy insulted the shit out of you, and you appeal to him like you did something wrong. So he continues to appeal to his master, because Polytoad did something wrong here, not the guy that insulted the hell out of him. And then I chime in the only way I know how, which matches my no bullshit disposition. So while he's ceaselessly appealing to the guy that insulted him, the true perpetrator here, I decided to give him a reality check. It's Polytoad's prerogative to let someone run over his ass, but all of a sudden it's a problem when I point out how cowardly and stupid it is to appeal to someone like you did something wrong when they insulted you over a disagreement? I'm a big bad meanie and poopy head for pointing out the fact that he is spineless for appealing to someone that disrespected him. Was I abrasive? Sure. I'll be the first to admit that I never have plans to bridle my tongue, and sincerity will always take priority over your feelings. So up to this point it was just an A and B conversation. Then Grimmy here decided to insert himself into the conversation. Okay, fine. Now you assume the responsibility of butting in on something that didn't concern you. This is a public forum after all, so let's do this. At the end of the day, you found out that I am not someone you can control. I like how Grimmy here says that he's an autistic and blunt Aussie. Like anyone asked for your mental illness, are you trying to use it as a crutch or something? What does that have to do with our conversation and the video you chose to make? Keep this in mind. But his definition of being blunt is similar to narcissism. He was fine with being blunt, but he wasn't fine with me being blunt. And that's all this entire conversation boils down to. And while you're telling me to take a step back, Grimmy, you need to take 69 more back and realize how foolish it is to get triggered in something that didn't concern you, but you chose to indulge in anyway. Did you not prepare for the part that made you uncomfortable? Polytoad had the opportunity to stand up for himself. You're not heroic for taking up for someone in an internet squabble on fucking Twitter of all places. Holy shit, get some self-awareness, dude. When I mention losers kicking and screaming on the internet in the hopes that they'll be taken seriously, I was pointing out the reality that you can't quite comprehend. You achieve nothing and you're looking at it the wrong way. I never took any of this shit seriously. My account isn't even monetized because I don't want to deal with YouTube's bullshit politics to earn and keep a monetization to begin with. This is my mantra, son. This shit is a hobby to me. I'm pointing and laughing. People like you wonder why you're curled up into the fetal position, trying your best to breathe out of a a bag. Shit like this is nothing more than comedic ammo for me to point and laugh at. If you're going to insert your unstable self into things, you either need to take your depressants and go for it, tiger, or leave it the fuck alone. You're not a victim, kiddo. You made the false equivalency of my bluntness out to be toxicity because you don't like when people are being blunt as you are, but you're allowed to be blunt, right? Sit the fuck down. Like I told your ass before, I don't bend the knee to anyone, just like I don't wear a filter. Oh, by the way, Grimmy, since you're having so much fun having your little virtue signaling fit, where is your consistency? Jade blocked you as well, even though you had no interactions with them. Where is the nearly half-hour-long crybaby shit post highlighting those Twitter woes? Are you afraid that it won't be fulfilling enough for this YouTube quota you're apparently after? That's all it was. Mr. Blunt Autistic Aussie here got upset because he met another blunt one, and he felt his imaginary alpha throne was threatened because I bit back when he chose to engage in something that didn't concern his ass in the first place.